Loved ones, beloved, have you moved on? Most importantly, why we constantly revisit or even permanently remain in our own past. The question that was posed in our text was, where should we put it? Should we permanently have a fixture of our past, placing it in our present? Is that going to rob from the present? Has it robbed from the present? What does our future look like if the thing that we're dragging or we have our arms around is our past? Now, everybody's past may not be traumatic, but I would dare to say that a large percentage of us would love to just leave our past right there. Then I need to ask you a question. Why won't you? Well, people keep bringing up. Really? Is it really somebody else? Or are we paying rent and living there? Let's continue. What is the nearly intoxicating infatuation that people experience with dwelling on shoulda, coulda, woulda? Thank you, Brian McKnight. What is the infatuation with living there? With introducing everybody that gives us the time of day new in our lives, giving them a sample of where we come from and clearly where we still are. Infecting and inseminating every new situation with a dose of what we went through. We can't even be blessed with who the Lord deeds us in our future. We can't even really properly receive the healing that comes from Mr. or Mrs. Right, for example, because no sooner than we connect with them, we're exposing Mr. or Mrs. Right to Mr. or Mrs. Wrong from the past. Why in the world would we want to remain attached to so much pain? Well, one thing that should be considered is the literal photograph that is trauma. That's deep. I'm going to give you all a little moment to let that sink in. The photograph, which is trauma. Trauma is hard to forget because literally it's like your soul captures it on film for the purposes and the ability to be replayed over and over again. The brain is the original hard drive, storing these unfortunate experiences in the deep, dark partitions of our memory. And what is worse is the fact that almost no one outside of yourself can or will truthfully make an attempt to engage you in said pain or struggle regarding reminiscing on your past. Now let's dwell on that for a second. It's time for us to keep it real. How many of us really have or even want to go on that journey with somebody who's stuck in reverse? I'm not trying to be funny, but it's like no sooner than we put our hands up, our hand going back down, because you know good and well you ain't got time because of your own problems to go with me down memory lane of negativity. And you know what? The enemy knows this, and this disconnection is one of the things that's causing friction in our current timeline and reality, because let me tell you, each and every one of us, if you're honest, is either you, no offense, I love you, ain't nothing you can do about it, or you know someone else that won't let themselves nor the people close to them escape from what they went through, because one of the reasons, and excuse my vernacular, they're pissed off because we're really not all that empathetic, because we don't want somebody else's problems. Even if we're trying to be kind, what's in your gut? India, you over there, you about to graduate. Selara, you're in the other room. I'm not trying to throw y'all under the bus to suffer with dad, but can we be honest today? Who really want to go through somebody else's mess? Poor yet. Yeah, but this is the point that Pastor's trying to make. There is a lot of strain on our relationships, and maybe that's why it's so easy to fall into arguments, because the person that's suffering in their past really don't appreciate that we don't want to go there with them. Nonetheless, stay there. You know why counseling is so important? And I'm talking about professional counselors. Because they make a living out of it. I'm not saying that they haven't helped nobody. My counselors have helped me. Pastor, you've had counselors? In a multitude of counsel, there's safety. But let me tell you something. They get paid for it. They get paid for you to live in the Civil War. But you're looking for volunteers to go swimming through those murky waters and stay in there with you and not being an overcomer? Good luck. And all I'm saying and pointing out is that it is placed real strain on the way that we, so many of us, see the world existentially, meaning out of the prism of our eyesight. So many of y'all don't lie today. We got your number. You don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate that you don't have a firm appreciation of what? Your trauma? Why would anybody want to live continually through rape? Why would anybody want to live continually through a prison stint? Why would anybody want to live continually through childhood abuse? Why would anybody want to live through true bullying experience? Sis. Can't forget to add the plural. Now, we're going somewhere with this because some of y'all like, Pastor, that's not really fair. I don't feel like I'm keeping myself there. Well, who is keeping you there? The Heavenly Father's not keeping you there. The devil, as Bishop had aforementioned in powerful messages, we laughed at it, made it seem simple, but it's deep because it's true. As the Most High, Satan is a spirit, meaning Satan don't have hands, literally. So Satan is not holding you in your past. I'm not holding you in your past. I'm in my house on live Facebook, hoping that it don't go down. Who's holding you there? Now, just because it hurt don't mean that we don't need to examine the proper, truthful tenets and principles of what's holding us there. I'll whisper. I'll stop hollering. I'm not trying to offend nobody. Whitney, if you watch, and she laugh at Pastor a lot of times when I say, what am I hollering for? Let me bring my voice down. I'll bring my voice down. You need to check and see if it's you holding you down in your past. Because contrary to popular belief, it's not stuff, people, or things, or even our past itself. It's gone on. I know I've ministered this before, but new people around the world that watch our lives need this. And we've got a particular twist that gives insight today. Let me continue because I got a graduation to get to. We blame others for an absence of collective empathy when we often refuse to face the reality that maybe other folks struggle to walk with us in our past. And the reason why is because there is no true point of literal relation, no actual physical cues, simply because you are attempting to transport other people into and through to something that no longer exists, except in the recesses of your memory. People go through trauma. People go through real psychological trauma. There are people who suffer from what the medical community calls schizophrenia, disassociation disorders and things of that nature. And you're literally seeing something, but you want to hold and take issue with people because they don't see what you see. We're not experiencing one another's dreams. We're not experiencing one another's hallucinations. This ain't just for one or two people. This is for everybody. That sounds serious, but let's talk about something that people can relate on a continual premise. How many of you all are not successful, rather, in gifted as I don't know what, but still struggling to find financial and tangible success in life because you barely can even keep a job because your past trauma enters into your today's workplace and affects and impacts how you work towards and build and grind towards your own future. Beloved, the past weight is too heavy for us to have a future. We got to get out of the past.